So we have a problem with our cancel button here, and I promised to fix it, but I didn't. Full disclosure. That's because I want us to troubleshoot this together. Otherwise, it would be cheating if I do it off camera. So there's one glimmer of hope that we have, and that's because we were able to abort this mission within, let me copy that. Oh, yeah. We were able to abort this mission within here, within this function. So Ajax course upload event listener. So in here, if we trigger an event, say like we had said previously, where the percentage is greater than, let's say 30, then we can have an abort without consequences, right? It doesn't refresh the page at all. So let's see that in action one more time, just to confirm it still works. And okay, it's done. So after 30%, it's cancelled. Okay, I like that. So what we can do instead of trying to run this from another function, which seems to be causing a bit of a problem, what we can do instead is we can create a variable. So there's Ajax course image, right? Course image uploading. Okay, so Ajax course image cancelled. Yeah, you should be more creative with these namings of these variables. So, and by the way, there's something important I haven't mentioned about JavaScript. If you have, because of all these long names, it's very possible at some point you're going to have two functions that are exactly the same name. So that won't cause an error, and you may never even know that you have two functions with the same name. The only thing that JavaScript will do is it will get the last declared function and use that instead. It will just ignore the first one and work with the last one. So just something to keep in mind. So Ajax course image cancelled. Let's set this to false, and then we can set it to true at some point. So I'm just going to copy this. Let's go to our function that cancels the whole thing and just set this guy to true. So instead of doing the cancel itself, we're just setting a value to true, saying we have cancelled this thing now. And then we can set it to false every time we start this process again. So let's set that to false to start with. So it's not cancelled once we start, but then we can cancel it at some point using this function. Now all we need to do, instead of checking for a percentage, what we can do is to check if this has been cancelled or not. So if cancelled, then abort the mission, because remember this function runs many times a second, so it's able to check as it is adding to the progress bar. It can also check, has the user cancelled this upload or not? If they have, then abort it. So hopefully this will work. So let's give it another shot. I'll refresh the page, browse. Let's grab that long movie, click, and let's try to cancel. Oh boy. Oopsie daisy. So it seems if the cancel comes from, I have no idea why this isn't working at all. Interesting. It's just determined to make me fail. So Ajax course image cancelled. Okay, what I'm going to do is this. Let me study. When you're faced with a problem like this, it's a good idea to study the Ajax request itself. Let me try on the upload version instead. I do .upload.abort. Let's see how well that is received before we go diving in deeper. So and let's cancel. Still refreshes the page. I don't know why this isn't working. This is where, as a programmer, you get frustrated. Okay, so in a situation like this, Google is your friend, right? So you have to Google this problem and see how to cancel an Ajax request midway while it's still uploading. So it's weird that image cancelled. That it works if we use an if statement to just check without having a user having to click something. Okay, let me try one more trick up my sleeve, right? What I'll do is I'll set a timeout, right? Instead of, because it seems my click is the problem. Once I click, then it's responding to that click for some reason. When it just happens as an event within the JavaScript, it works fine. So maybe what we can do is, let's try a set timeout. So I'm just going to say set timeout like this. Okay, so set timeout. What set timeout does is it lets you declare a function that will run after a certain number of seconds. So here I just want this to run after a second, which is 1000 milliseconds. So within there is where I want to abort this. So let's do this. So that my cancel button event is gone by the time, so I'm not saying this will work, but it's worth a shot. Oh boy, that didn't work either. That's interesting. Let's put it at 2 seconds. Let me see what will happen then, because I want to see what refreshes. What does the refresh? Is it the trigger or not? So you see. Okay, sorry. This is where instincts go out the window. So I've been coding for a very long time, but even I am susceptible to very simple and stupid mistakes. So in this case, this is one of those times. I've just realized the problem here, and it's insanely stupid. So let me show you the problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Ajax course abort, and let's remove it from here at all. Let me remove all of this, put it back to the original thing I wanted to do. Let me just put it there like that, so we can abort it from this function instead. That way we don't need this variable course image. Wait. Yeah. Where is that variable? This one right here. So let me remove all the instances of this. I don't need it anymore. And that one there. Good. Okay. Yep. So now we cancel using that button. Now the reason it's refreshing is because this button is a submit button. I forget that we're inside a form. So every time we're inside a form and we put a button like this, it's a submit button by default. So what we need to do is change its type to button and not submit. Such a silly mistake and give me a headache. Okay, so let's refresh. So this is where experience comes in handy, because if I had not experienced this before with a button that refreshes the page, I would never have known this. This would have driven me insane. So the more you code, the more you're going to be able to catch these things. So let's try this. Fingers crossed. I'm sure it's going to work this time. I have no reason to doubt it. So let's try this again. So let's click cancel. Yeah, there we go. Very cool. Yeah, very good. Let's try this again. And let's try to cancel. Boom. There we go. Very cool. Now we just need a message. Things have been cancelled. So back to course view messages. So instead of an error occurred here, I'm going to have an alert. We can check what error occurred here. So also what we can do is just do console.log and then log in the Ajax itself, this one. That way we can find something in there that will tell us what has happened. So I'm going to refresh. This time I'm going to observe the console once I do this. So let's try this again one more time. Upload, and then let's do a cancel. Okay, an error occurred. Great, not really. We canceled this thing, but let me inspect the element because I've told it to console.log the Ajax request, and so it has done so. And let's see what can tell us. Oh, wait a minute, let me cancel this, clear it. Let me try this again and do a cancel. Boom. Okay, great. Okay, so this is what we get. Why is it? So the ready state is 4, status is 0. Let's look for something in here that will help us. Let's look at the upload. Abort is no. Status is 0. Okay, it should say something. Okay, so there's an event listener on abort. There we go. Very nice, very nice. So there's one on abort. Let's see if it's going to recognize what we have done. So I'm going to remove this. And the same way we've added event listeners on the ready state here, let's add on abort. Even though the on abort is on the upload section of things, but I'm just going to try and listen to an event of abort on this Ajax request itself without putting .upload. So let me just try and say alert aborted. Okay, so that maybe we can know what's going on there. But the only problem is I don't want it to tell me an error occurred here. I still need an if statement there. So status is 200, but here status is 0 when we abort, so maybe that would help. Yeah, but I'm expecting an alert now. So let's try this again. Let me cancel. Okay, aborted, so it actually does recognize that things have been aborted. That's great. Very good. So this one, instead of an alert, an error occurred, we'll leave it at that. But what we'll do is, let me inspect this console again. I want to see if there's something else that can tell me ready state, that can tell me what's happening. Okay, you know what I'll do is, let's remove this. I think we can add instead on error here. Okay, that way we have on error, and then we have on abort. So let me copy this, an error occurred, and paste it here. Okay, let me see if that event exists. So there's on error, okay, there's on abort, there's on load, unloaded. Okay, so we can use each one of these to give us a specific response. Okay, so that's great. So on error, we're going to get an error occurred here. On abort, we're going to get aborted here. That's good. So then I don't need this else statement anymore. Out. Okay, cool. So from this now, what I want to do in the error is I want to grab this info thingy and copy it like this, and I want to put it right here. So I'll say upload aborted. Maybe the alert is enough. I don't need to show it in there. Upload aborted. That should be enough. Okay, so a little complex with all this, but we finally have it. Something that works as intended. So refresh, click, let's try again, grab, let it upload. Let's see what happens when it's done uploading. Uninterrupted. Great, we get that alert. Nice. Let's try it again. This time let's cancel. Boop. Upload aborted. Great. Very nice. So with this in mind, this is all good. The only problem is we are not validating this. We shouldn't be allowing AVI files. We should only allow the image files that we want. So let's do that in the next video.